It felt as if the rain would never stop, as it started in April and did not seem to cease for even a second until July. Being surrounded by about 270 rivers that crisscross and wind through the land, Bangladesh farms had little hope for saving their crops from the water. Bangladesh is no stranger to harsh weather and high waters. Floods are something that these farmers have to look out for constantly, averaging at about 6 large floods a year. The areas around the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers are the most heavily and frequently affected by the floods. Because Bangladesh is surrounded by the Himalayan mountains, the rivers suffer from excess water from melted ice on top that flows downhill. Deforestation of the Himalayas also contributes to flooding. The interception rates, which is the amount of precipitation reduced by the plants, decreases and leads to higher amounts of runoff into the rivers. The floods of '74 affected 52,720 square kilometers, or about 35% of Bangladesh. This flood was different from the others. Typically, the farmers were able to rebound before the next season and jump right back into routine, but the 1974 floods would impact crops for seasons to come. This led to a huge increase in unemployment since agriculture was such a huge source of employment. 1.4 million farms were left without tools or animals to work their land. Crop production began to dramatically decrease in certain areas of the country that heavily relied on the commodities produced in Bangladesh. An inflation of prices on imported goods caused many people to be unable to afford goods they needed to care for themselves and their families. A combination of the floods, crop loss, and inflation eventually led to widespread famine in Bangladesh, which was estimated to have caused about 1.5 million deaths. The country would attempt to reform for years to come, but would continue to suffer